Hey guys, welcome back to Dracula, a love story. So we're going to be playing episode 2. There's only one episode, which is probably fine for me. I need to take my time with this one a bit, but it's okay. It's okay. It's like I like the story. I just have certain qualms about it, mostly being the main character. But it's a new season, so we're gonna give it a shot. I don't know. It'll be all right. Baby might be squawking a bit in the background, but we're fine. Okay, when running away from danger, be certain you're not running toward a bigger one. Okay, let's give this a shot. Right, so we're going to figure out who captured us. Chapter 2, Black Figures. This episode of Dracula, a love story, contains themes may be disturbing for some readers. Please proceed with caution. There's always some disturbing stuff in the story, but that's okay. Sometimes, our time somewhere in the sky above Romania. The silhouette took a step forward from the dimly lit space, and we saw a tall young man. He tossed his dark wavy hair back from a pale forehead gently and smiled. Okay, so unfortunately nobody that we actually know. I think we're all expecting a lot of different people, but this isn't him. Whoever this is, okay. So let's try to figure out what's going on. Welcome aboard, ladies. However, as he saw our faces, his smile shifted into a worrisome expression. Oh, you seem scared. You just kidnapped us. Of course we're scared. The fuck? The plane owner furrowed his brows and looked at the steward. Ted, couldn't you be nicer and not scare the ladies? Not a single muscle twitched on the steward's face. He continued smiling suavely. Who are you and what do you want from... Oh, I forgot what she was wearing. That dress is awesome, though. Okay. She dresses well. I'll give her that. Who are you and what do you want from us? Me? Nothing. Weren't you the ones who wanted to fly away? Really? We're gonna play that game? We're gonna play that game. Hold on. My sister looked at him attentively as if remembering something. I know you. You're Ruthven. Mr. Ruthven. Yes, Gordon Ruthven at your service. Who? Millie, how do you know him? You never watched the news, Melody. Mr. Ruthven is a very rich man, a famous philanthropist. His foundation has so many good projects, and he'll be helping our school as well. Which means he's hiding a lot of sketchy projects under all his philanthropy. The man's thin lips curled into a smile. He nodded slightly. That's right. I saw you when you came to see our seniors, from afar, of course. Maya looked excitedly over the interior again. Are we really flying home with you in your private plane? My girls would lose their minds when I tell them. Well, I'm glad the situation is sorted out. It's not... Hold on, nothing is sorted out. Thank you. That's our friend left at the airport. We wanted to fly together or not to fly at all. And your Ted said no one will be holding us against our will, but you tricked us. Millie checked herself and her face got sad. Oh, that's right. So we abandoned Leo. Yeah, that's right. These sisters, I swear. The man locked his fingers and spoke in a calm, serious voice. Ted didn't know when I would order to take off. And please, don't get me wrong. I love how... Well, then Ted should have kept his mouth fucking shut if he didn't know what the fuck was going on. It's like, don't say shit and you don't really know. Like, I love helping people whenever I can, but I'm a very busy man. Every minute of my time is worth a lot. Well, then why did you come here? Why did you offer to do this? Like, out of nowhere. Like, it was really freaking random. Which means that it's not random at all, and you want something. We postponed taking off to wait for you anyway, and your friend had to be checked by the security, and it usually takes long. So you could have flown without us, and we would have stayed. Ruthven looked into my eyes. Really? You were in such a hurry to leave, Miss Melody. I believe you had your reasons. Don't turn this fucking around. Answer the freaking question. You little smarmy little bitch. Get out of here. Forgetting about them just out of friend solidarity? A grand gesture, but is it a smart one? My intervention released you from a difficult moral choice and let you come out of it with clear conscience. You didn't abandon your friend voluntarily, but soon you'll be home, sorting your business out. And I guess your friend will come there by the next flight without a problem, so it's for the best. So who the fuck do you think you are? I guess you think you're better and smarter than everyone else if you meddle in someone else's plans without their knowledge. Don't you think they might perceive it differently? Well, I can see where you're coming from. But alas, I can't reverse anything now, so let's look at the bright side. Soon, you'll be home hugging your family. In exchange for what? It was sad to realize it, but we really had no other option. Poor Leo, not knowing a thing. He must be going insane worrying about us now. I bet he is. But we can't do anything. It's not like we can stop this plane. I hid my face in my hands and sunk into the nearest armchair. The endless string of stress-inducing events really did me in. Are we really flying home? To Lastville? Lastville? Royals, too. I have some very important business there as well. I don't think Mr. Ruthven will really abduct us. Millie, your judgment has already been questionable. Obviously questionable. Saying that you also trusted Noe, so don't talk. He smirked in surprise. Abduct? I'm too reputable to pull it off, and why would I? No, you just do it in a way where it makes you seem like you're being a good guy. But, you abducted us. That's what happened. He looked at his watch. Excuse me, ladies, but I have to get back to business. Ted will offer you food and beverages. Oh, hell nah. Do not eat shit. We got a guest room for night lodging. It's tiny, but the bed is comfortable. Oh, one more thing. I probably forbid internet and mobile connection during the flight to prevent interference. Have a good rest. Use your phone. The plane owner slid the door after him. What would you like for dinner, ladies? I don't care. My anxiety wouldn't let me even look at my meal, and dinner time seemed endless. Good, don't eat anything. We'll see how it affects Millie. Finally, Millie finished her food. Of course she did. And we went to the guest room. Millie, as soon as we land, we're taking a taxi and going to Mom's Rancho. Considering the time zones, it was be 9 or 10 p.m., I guess. Oh, we can chat all through the night. I hope you're not going to tell her everything. Mrs. pursed her lips thinking about it. Please don't. You know she can't stand even just TV shows about mystical stuff. Yeah, I guess you're right. She wouldn't believe me anyway. She sent me to a shrink. That's right. Can I at least tell her with whom we were flying? She must have heard about Ruthven. She'll be pleased. Sweetheart, did you forget that we're going there because our mom is probably in danger? I winced. What's so pleasant about it? We don't know a thing about him. If you ask me, he seems like a strange, haughty type. Don't be so mean. He helped us out, and he helps a lot of people. It's like she learned 0 lessons from what happened with Noe. This is a story. It's season 2. Where is her character growth? But I shouldn't be surprised because even our main character doesn't have any fucking character growth. She just goes back and round in fucking circles over and over again. I think he got his money from his parents. They own a luxurious hotel chain. I don't fucking care. But he doesn't only think about himself. He thinks about people. How? Yeah, but what about him taking us away, leaving us no choice? Doesn't it sound familiar? A rich, hot guy who takes you away without a choice? Yeah, and then I got mad and apparently left him. So, and that's what we do with those type of people. Apparently. So, be consistent. I felt embarrassed. Vlad is totally different. Oh, is he now? Because you didn't treat him like he was different. I'm just saying. That's what we found out later. Remember what we thought about him at first? Maybe you should give Ruthven a chance too. Both of them are stupid. Finally, we went to bed, and Millie fell asleep at once, but I was tossing and turning. They're like dumb for like different reasons, but like both of them were dumb. I was thinking about the people who became as close as family to me over just 10 days. Leo, I wish we could at least tell him we're fine. then do it. Just because he said the guy doesn't want you using the plane because of interference or whatever. I'm sorry. I will be sending a text out right now. She's stupid. Hell no. Like, if you went on a plane and you don't trust this person at all, I would at least tell somebody who I'm with and where the fuck we're going. Or where we think we're going, at least. And Sandra? We said goodbye in such a hurry. It was so awkward. Whose fault is that? But then a wave of thoughts about Vlad crushed onto me, and I was in so much pain. The tsunami took down all my barriers so easily. The pain was overwhelming now. The taste of his desperate, passionate kiss was still burning on my lips. My body could still feel his touch on my waist and cheeks, and I saw his welcoming gaze and a smile each time I closed my eyes. It was driving me mad, tearing my soul apart. I left him. I did it voluntarily. Did I have a choice? Yes and no. No, you had a choice. You made a choice. How can you stay if you're terrified and unable to grasp all that happened? If you're unable to grasp it, then you need to talk. Like, it's called communication? Like, it's dishonest to stay if you can't accept him with all your heart the way that he is. But you didn't even try. Like, like, love is work. You can't just expect, like, everything to be fucking easy. It's like she doesn't want a fucking handout. Like, when everything is, like, chill and simple, like, no problems at all, like the first sign of trouble. You know, never mind. Besides, Leah was wounded, and then Mom called, and there was too much fear. I had no other option. Yeah, okay, you say what the fuck you want. You still don't. That's what my mind was saying, but my heart wouldn't listen. At the sole thought I'd never see him again, it was crying like a child. And it was longing for Vlad, contrary to all the logical reasoning. Unable to take the torture anymore, I decided to turn my mind onto other things. The door is locked from the inside. We've got a whole night to fly. No one will bother us here. I'll just clean the canvas a bit, right here at the bed. Yay! To take my mind off of horrible things, I go and watch more horrible things of the past. Awesome. Because we know this is going to be fun. Did we figure out who this was? I don't think so. So I did. The nightlight was weak, so my eyes got tired soon. But I was waiting for one thing, and it happened. A journey to the past. So she now giving into the concept that this is what's going to happen. She can accept that, but I'm going to stop. You know what? I'm probably not going to stop. You know what? No, I'm not going to stop. She started it. There was no doorkeep at the gate, so Lo opened them herself. She walked on the paths, taking in the aroma of the tangerine trees in bloom. Next to the house entrance, there was a turmoil that always comes along with moving. The servants were in a hustle, and chests and bundles were everywhere. There was even a huge cast iron pot for cooking. Hurry up, Damla, or we'll be doing this until night. Why is this pot here? It's taking up all the passage. Move it. A sturdy, round-cheeked servant scrunched up her nose ruefully. Ask the cooks about why they left it here, not me, my lady. And there's no way we could move it. It's gotten so hot under the sun, it'll burn our hands. Oh, you just need to talk back at everything. Wrap it in rags and carry it. Nuri approached one of the chests and produced several pieces of canvas. There you go. The previous owners had left it behind. They surely had no use for it. The servant took the rags, muttering petulantly, and started covering the pot. Where did Sage go? Am I supposed to carry this all by myself? I can't do it alone. So go and call her. It seemed like exactly what Damla wanted. She ran to the backside of the house gleefully. Nuri spotted Lel, smiled, and nodded at her servant's back. That's it. We're not going to come across her for another hour. The young ladies exchanged their greetings and walked to the house slowly. Who could have thought you'd be the one welcoming me as the master of this house? I thought I'd come to congratulate Safi on her new home, but it proved to be you. Well, Khalil Pasha did build this house for her as a wedding present, and they didn't even live in it. They moved away right after they moved in. It's a good thing it was a joyful occasion. Demet was appointed as the Balir Bey in Rumelia and sent there to control the army. And of course, Safi came with him. This whole thing will last at least for several years. Well, we'll settle down here for now. We've rented the house for a year, and then we'll see. Nuri looked at the small basket in Lal's hands. Did you bring canvas and paints? Sure, but why? Let's go, I'll tell you. The girls went around the corner of the house and found themselves in a picturesque yard with a pond. The friends settled on the silk pillows around the marble ledges. The spring wind was rippling up the water and swaying water lilies. Serene calm was in everything. It's so nice here. Yes, the best place in the house, my favorite spot. I love water. When I was 13, I spent an entire year living with my parents by the sea. It was the happiest time, the most free. I would get up early in the morning, run to the empty beach, and put my feet into the water. She looked at her friend with hope. Lo, give me a gift. Paint the sea for me. I know, you can make it look so real. The sea? I'll try. Nerea almost jumped with happiness. Yes, please. I'll have the painting in my room so no one sees it. Why do you need to hide it? We're allowed to paint the sea. Yavuz will definitely hate it. He'll say I'm being nonsensical again. Ugh. She slumped her shoulders immediately as if she was trying to hide. Nerea, do he hurt you again? Do you regret marrying him? Do you have a hard life? Okay, so we've been trying to move to a daring path. I don't know what. We've been trying to move to a daring path, so I'm thinking let's try to find like the boldest things that we can say, right? The boldest thing here is, did he hurt you again? It's like very direct. Like this is like, are you having a hard time? You know, do you regret marrying him? That all kind of seems like, but this one's kind of bold, right? Yes. The girl shook her head bitterly. He hasn't hit me again yet, but he reproaches me every day. I feel as if I'm stupid, ugly, and worthless all the time. He's so good at saying mean words that go straight into my heart. Oh dear, please, you must resist. You're beautiful, smart, and good. Don't believe him. Nori shook her head, chasing the sadness away. Maybe start painting now? Poor thing. Lo took to preparing her paints, mixing the colors as she laid the canvas on the marble ledge. But suddenly, a sharp, deep voice came from outside the yard. The mistress of the house sprang to her feet. Oh no, it's him. Yavuz, hide everything, quick. The girls threw the paraphernalia into the basket and covered it with a napkin. Please, hide as well. Lo was surprised, but she didn't argue as she hurried into a dark alcove Nere showed her. Soon Yavuz Pasha walked into the garden. A young helper wearing a janissary uniform followed him. Hold on, Kamal. I'll take it. Well, we'll get right back. Of course, my lord. Nere, where's the parchment and deer leather I brought in yesterday? One moment, my lord. She hurried inside and soon returned with the scroll. He took it without even looking at her. Fine. What were you doing? Nere started stuttering. We were unpacking. The men gave her a stern look. Our belongings are by the gates, and there's no one there. What are you up to? Nere lowered her head, but her husband grabbed her wrist and shook her, making her look at him. Do you think you can be as free as you used to be since you're back to Idian? A married woman's days should be spent working for her husband's good and praying. Where's your hard work? Yavuz Pasha shook her again and let go of her wrist sharply, making her lose her balance and fall into the marble floor. Oh my god. A thin stream of blood ran from her cracked lip. Oh my god. And the Hassan's perceptive eyes already spotted the sky blue drops of paint on the ledge of the pond. Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. This dude is not that smart. What? He touched the paint, smelled it, and looked around. As he saw the basket, he turned it over, sending the brushes and cans of paint flying. He stepped back to Nere immediately, looming over her, raising his hand. My lord, don't. See, even he's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? The janissary moved towards the Pasha, but got burned by his furious eyes and stopped in his tracks. Path of luck. Dang it. I don't have enough bravery yet. Lo couldn't hide anymore. She ran out of her cover and screamed. These are just my paints. Nere has nothing to do with it. She ran to her friend, trying to get her up. Yavuz Pasha froze with his hand raised. Where did you come from? Why are you so cruel towards her? Don't you have sympathy for her? So you're bringing friends over here now, huh? What's so bad about friends? Get out, girl. Don't interfere with my family. You've already brought trouble. Nere deserves a punishment because of you. She doesn't. What does she have to do with it? And I didn't do anything bad either. I was just painting. So you were painting here. Yvonne's Pasha tried to grab Nerea, but Lel was in his way. Then he grabbed her wrist to push her away. Oh. A flash. Why every time he touched her, she gets these crazy flashes? What the hell is going on? Lel felt like she was falling. Well, I guess it has to do with her soul light, I suppose. Lel felt like she was falling, and a vision appeared before her eyes. Halime. Oh, isn't that, isn't that, what's his name's mom? What is that dude's name? You know, the kid that we hate. I can't remember his name right now. But isn't that Mehmed? Isn't that his mom? I think. I can't remember. Oh, Huma, come tell us how your son will become the Sultan. Are you mocking this woman? Halime burst out laughing. Wait, somebody tell me Beyonce. Halime, I think, burst out laughing, and the other girls followed her. Ha ha ha. The sounds were drowning in the soft upholstery, never leaving the dining room of the harem. But it didn't console Huma. She was standing by the door, stooping her head. You came too late. There are no spots by the table for the Sultan's favorite girls. Feel free to go over there to your kind, the rootless ones. Or you could tell us about Mehmet, the great Sultan, and we might find a little nook for you at the corner. It's so much nicer to have lunch with some entertainment. Come on, girls. You don't have to be cruel. Maybe the fourth son will indeed become the Sultan. Wait, what? Everyone laughed again. I should go. I won't interrupt your meal. He headed for the door, but it opened, and Aisha walked in. Good day, everyone. Yvaz Pasha? Their eyes met. Both felt clearly unpleasant, so they hurried to get out of each other's way. Huma Khatan, why are you standing there? Let's sit at the table. There's no place for me. I just looked at the table, puzzled. Of course there is. Come here, you'll sit next to me. Shook Huma's hand gently and led her to her place, one of the best ones in the center. That's a place for the Sultan family members. That's against the rules. I don't know any rules like this. I'm the Sultan's sister. Surely I can sit next to me the people I want. You can? Wonderful. Take a seat, Huma Khatan. Halime Khatan, please move a bit. Wait, I'm confused. So wait, so that woman is Mehmet's mother? What? What? I think I've forgotten the details. Because... Okay, so him and my mom had beef. Clearly. That's why he just aggroed at me for no reason at all. Lil opened her eyes and rubbed her temple, wincing. She saw perplexed Kamel and Nerea sitting at the floor, but her husband was gone. Where'd he just take off to? Where is he? Yvaz Pasha. When you fainted, he got nervous and left. Kamal, you need to follow him. Oh, she faints when this stuff happens, I think. Well, last time she didn't faint, I don't think. He got nervous and left. Because I guess he can't openly hurt me. I'm thinking he might have something to do with how my mom died, though. For sure. But he couldn't do it in the open in the same way. But the young man sat down next to her, got out a handkerchief, and took to wiping blood from her lips carefully. Excuse me? Hello? I'm so sorry, my lady. I hate myself for letting him... Oh no, Kamal, you couldn't. He would have killed you. She touched his palm gratefully. I ship it. Suddenly, Lel noticed something flicker in their eyes while they looked at each other. So elusive, barely there, so beautiful, but it heralded big trouble for both of them. We gotta get rid of this Pasha guy, he's in the way. But even still, she probably couldn't openly marry this guy. Dang it. I wonder if there's any way to help them. Lo insisted she'd find her way out, and now she was standing alone by the gate, thoughtful. What did I see again? Was it real? Mom and poor Hima? And Halime. She turned to the gates and was surprised to find Aslan walking in. Aslan, what are you doing here? Lel, I came to pick up some of the Damat's inside stuff. He had no time to return it, so he asked me. Where are you going now? Back to the palace. On foot? Alone? It's very close. Aslan shook his head. Well, you shouldn't. You're a young, beautiful woman, richly dressed at that, and not everyone around has nice intentions. You're right. Fine. I'll go collect these things later. Let's go. I'll walk you. By the way, there's an interesting place nearby. We have to visit it. He's so sweet. Oh, tulip field. Aslan covered Lel's eyes with his palms and was softly pushing her forward. A couple more steps. Be careful. Here we are. Oh, adorable. He took his hands off her face, and Lel saw she was standing amidst a field of tulips. Thousands of tender flowers were swaying like an iridescent sea. Ah, so beautiful. We got here in time. They're in full bloom. They walked along the field slowly. Lel would lean down every few moments, touching flowers. The young man was watching her, overjoyed that he guessed how to make his friend happy. Suddenly, the hem of her dress got caught in something. Wait. Lel froze, and Aslan sat down and freed her dress from an exposed root. Can you all stop? It's my parents and my sister. I'm gonna have to mute them because they out here tripping. There you go. If it tore, you'd be like a swallow. A swallow? Yes, there's a legend from my childhood. So strange. I don't even remember my childhood. But I can't forget some fairy tales I was told and the lullabies I was sung. Tell me. Aslan spread his cloak on the ground and they sat down. Once there was a girl, so tiny and fragile, as if the wind could take her away at one blow. He looked at Lel tenderly. Just like you. It's romantic music. But she was very brave, not afraid of anything. He nodded with a hint of reproach in his face. Also like you. That's cute. One day she was walking through the fields and went really far, and she met the sun. She immediately fell in love with it, and it was so bright, warm, and shiny. The sun loved the tiny brave girl back, and it asked her to be its wife. She said yes and went to say goodbye to her family. But her family wasn't overjoyed at the news. Marrying the sun? How could it be possible? It'll never happen. They locked her up in a dark cellar, but she escaped. He said, how could it be possible? It'll never happen. Well, of course it won't happen if you lock her up in a fucking jail cell. How does that make any sense? She escaped. Her angry family chased her, ready to kill her just not to give her away to the strange groom. But she turned into a bird and flew up to her beloved one. They only managed to tear a piece of her dress from behind before she turned. That's why the bird has such a strange torn tail. And they managed to end up together, the swallow and the sun. I don't know. I never heard the ending. Or, I don't remember it. So we can come up with our own. I want them to meet after many adventures of searching for each other, and I want them to never part. Can I skip the adventures? Lil laughed. What's a tale without any adventures? She rose to her knees, reached for the carpet of flowers, and traced her hand over it. They're just so peculiar. I watch them each time, and I can't get enough. What seems to be an ordinary tulip is such a miracle. Yes, I think the same thing every time. She turned around and saw Aslan looking not at the flowers, but at her. What do I do? Keep looking or turn away? Okay, this is like super romantic. So we're gonna save this for another playthrough. Yeah. Lel felt uncomfortable. She turned away and got up hastily. Shall we go back? You got business to attend to. Aslan smiled. Sure, let's go. Let's calm down a little bit. Aslan walked Lel to the palace and left. She decided to go to the library. It's really pretty. I'll look for beautiful descriptions of the sea. It'll help me make the painting for an array more picturesque and alive. I hope she can hide it successfully because... Lil decided she'd paint the present for her friend no matter what and make it as beautiful as she can. Recently, the library of Murad II had gotten so big that it couldn't fit into the old space anymore. So it was brought to a new building constructed especially for it. But many scrolls and books were yet to be placed in their spaces, so they were lying on the floor in piles. Lil was about to start searching when she noticed a person absorbed in reading at the farther corner of the chamber. Vlad? The library's not open yet, and you're here already? The young man raised his head, recognized his friend, and smiled with the corners of his lips. Just like you. Aww. I have a business here. Just like me. She came closer and looked over his shoulder at a scroll on the table. What's that? History? It will be one day. It's the arrangement of the modern Ottoman army. Oh, I guess you already know more about our warfare than the best generals. You learned so much. Not yet, but soon. I will. Is it so interesting to you? It's important for me. Vlad's voice suddenly got very cold, even harsh. Lil froze, looking at his pale profile, his furrowed, dark brows. She felt uneasy. One day, he'll be back to his country, and all this knowledge, if he decides to apply it against the Ottomans. Vlad will indeed be their perfect enemy, the enemy who knows the opponents better than they know themselves. Vlad raised his eyes on Lil again and saw her look. What's with you? Are you scared? Bit. I know you very well. You're almost family to me. But sometimes you're just so distant and unfamiliar. In moments like that, I don't know what to expect of you, and I'm just frightened. Vlad got up, took her palms in his, and squeezed them lightly. I'm sorry, Lil. I didn't mean to scare you. He leaned closer, looking her in the eyes. Please know that I'll never hurt you. You and Aslan, you're the ones of my kind, and you always will be, no matter which side we'll be on one day. I love that he included Aslan in that. I love that. I love their whole friend group vibe. I feel like it's like the best trio in any story, for sure. Like, it's different. They're not just, rivals for her affection. They really care about each other too. You're the ones of my kind. I just love the fucking way he talks, dude. Just love the way he talks. Like, who says that? You're the ones of my kind. Interesting. Lil sighed with relief and nodded happily. Her heart was calm now. See how communication works? Just like that. You're scared, you don't fully understand situations, so you talk about it. Vlad waved at the piles of scrolls. So what did you want to find? Want me to help you? Oh, it's from Romance Club. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Your relationship with Vlad has improved. I need a beautiful description of the sea. Did you happen to come across one? Vlad never let go of Lil's hand, pulling her towards the bookshelves. I think I saw something like that in a Maghrebian manuscript. These shelves over here. Look at the middle and the lower ones. I'll look at the top shelves. They moved along the shelf, reading endless tags on the scrolls. At some point, Vlad was directly behind Lil's back. His hands reached for the shelf, almost hugging her, and his breath caressed her ear. She stopped in her tracks. A wave of warmth rolled down her body, and the tips of her fingers got tingly. Her breath got ragged, her heart started beating her way too loudly, and she felt like her legs were giving in. For several seconds, Lil stood like that, trying to understand what happened to her body. Why was it acting so strangely? And then, unexpectedly even for herself, she turned to him. They were standing face to face, several inches from each other. Vlad looked away from the bookshelves and at her face, and froze as well. Lil's delicate, impeccable skin, her soft locks framing her tender face. Her wide open eyes reflecting him were so innocent, but her sensual half-open lips, the blush on her cheeks, and the raising bosom, they were telling him how she was a young woman now. He felt irresistibly drawn to her, so little and defenseless, yet open to him, trusting him. It made him see Lel in a different light. Vlad felt the icicle that he had turned his heart into 2 years ago start to melt. The one who decides to become a perfect warrior, the defender of his country, to cut off his weaknesses mercilessly, following only his cold mind, now, as he was standing before Lel, found himself to be just human. A living human and a young man who couldn't stay careless next to this girl, even if he wanted to. She was waking him a desire to live differently, to let himself feel and enjoy it. There's so many parallels to what's going on in present day as well, but it just is happening slightly differently because they don't. I guess a lot of people, because they don't have those years of rapport. Lel was looking at Vlad from below, feeling all of her body overflowing with happiness. She was so happy she could see his face so close, could admire his sky blue eyes. She was so comfortable in the warmth of his arms and the exciting proximity of his body. And what's most important, she saw something more than just a friend's attention in his eyes, and it made her heart leap. Vlad noticed an eyelash on Lel's face and reached out to dust it off, but when his fingers touched the warm velvety skin, he couldn't take them off anymore. He traced Lel's face lightly, barely touching it with his fingertips. Then he touched her hair, hiding it behind her ears carefully, and at the next moment he pulled her close. Vlad pushed her head against his chest, hiding his fingers in the silky mane of her hair. He felt a sharp urge to protect her, to hide her in his embrace from this big, crazy world she was still too trusting to. And she felt like warming him up with the heat of her heart to support him, making him cast off his ice armor and come alive. Aww. They stood like that, unmoving, as they lost a sense of time, filling each other with light from their embrace. And then Vlad took Lel's hand again, guiding her along the shelves, but it didn't really matter anymore if they found the scroll. They had already found the most important thing in the quiet of the library. That's adorable. Oh gosh. We'll go back with this fool. Yves Pasha into the yard and walked briskly towards the house. Damn them. They still haven't cleaned up, and it's evening. Yeah, I wonder what's going on there. He looked angry at the chest and the pot that was still in the passage. Nere, Damla, Sage. But no one showed up. The man approached the pot. Look at that. They covered it with some rags. What a shame. The neighbors will think we're some villagers. He took to tearing the covers from the pot, scrunching them up within his hands. One of the rags attracted his attention. An image was showing through the dim gray glaze. Oh no. Isn't that forbidden? The portrait of the Grand Vizier's daughter, Safi Khatun. Well, now he knows I'm a painter. Shoot. Baby time. All right. When I woke up, it was about 1 a.m. by the Bucharest time. The things I saw in the past only made me more anxious. Of course it did. Oh, what happens to, okay. Somebody also told me that the E at the end of most of these words are like Beyonce. So is it like Lale? Safi? I don't know. We'll go Lil for now. If Yves realizes who painted Safi, exactly. Most of the past, it has happened already, and I cannot influence it in any way. Soon I felt thirsty, so I walked over to the salon. Oh no. There was no one there. It was silent. At least you can pour your own drink, so you know it's not... Well, they could tip the bottle. I found everything necessary for tea in the bar nook. I poured myself a cup and sat by the window. Good evening, Melody. May I join you? No? I gave a start of surprise, and the plane owner was already settling in the chair opposite me. Why even ask? It's like, it's not like I can stop you, but I mean, since you asked, I say no. He opened a bottle at the table, and the salon was immediately filled with a harsh odor of herbs and hard liquor. Want some? No, I got tea for a reason. No thanks, I've got my tea. See yourself. Don't mind if I do, I'm sure you don't. He filled a glass halfway and took several sips. I'm glad you're here. We can talk without third persons. About what? Anything. I'd like to get to know you. What do you like, Miss Melody Burnell? What am I like? I'm just like other people. I'm afraid you'll be bored. Why the fuck you want to know? You're so busy. Why should you waste your time on passing strangers out of your circle? He smirked, never taking his piercing gaze off me. Well, there can be several circles. We might belong to the same one at some point. You're a fine art restorer, right? You enjoy art. Interesting how you immediately jumped to the art. As he saw my perplexed gaze, he smiled and shrugged. I couldn't just let in people I didn't know anything about. I made some inquiries. And I also appreciate the beauty of art. Maybe you feel like we, business people, have nothing to do with you, creators. But it's hard to be creative without a good financial base. At all times, it's the benefactors, the rich people with good taste, who move art forward. I think you're missing a few steps in between there. It's like... And actually, that's not entirely true. Because there were some periods in time where those people, benefactors, only wanted to see a certain type of art. So if you didn't paint that or create like that, then you weren't accepted inside of the art society. There were times when art was only for the rich. But, like, art moving forward is like changing and evolving. And it can't do that to rich people who just want to see the same thing that they want to see. You understand what I'm saying? Like, in a way, there's some truth to what he's saying, of course. Because if no one will, put your art up in their gallery or things like that, then that helps an artist move forward. But I don't know about necessarily art itself. You know what I'm saying? The smart creators would understand it and accept the support gratefully. I don't think you could call me a creator. I simply restored the creations of other people. Oh, it's also art, and a more subtle one at that. It needs funding even more. It's expensive to restore beauty. He poured more liquid into his empty glass. You were born in Lasville, right? Are you familiar with it? I was, but then my parents moved to the suburbs, so I grew up at a ranch. And I returned to Lasville when I was grown up. I studied there and then worked. So yes, it is my home city, but I don't really know much about it. Interesting. Why did they move? No idea. I was like 4 years old. So you don't remember anything from that time. It's hard to tell. Why are you asking once again? Just keeping up the small talk. The glass was empty again, and my companion poured more. His voice and manners became more loose, and there appeared some strange interest in his eyes. So you and your sister had a Romanian holiday. Did you visit Dracula's castle? Are you interested in the vampire theme? You're asking some very peculiar questions, and suspicious ones at that. I felt everything tense up within, but I didn't blink an eye. My sister does, not me. Aren't you attracted to vampires' images at all? So cold and mysterious to the world, and so powerful and great on the inside. Knowledge of mysteries no normal human could access, an almost eternal life. I don't think most people want secret knowledge or eternal life. Oh, you're right about that. Most people don't. Otherwise, the world would be filled with immortal idiots. But think of the history. At all times and all societies, there were secluded groups of the conversants, priests and rulers. And now there are still those who can make good use of power and immortality. He leaned forward and stared at me with burning eyes. It's important for those who know more than others to see the ones of their kind. There's that phrase kind of again, but this time it sounds sinister. Ones of their kind. It's so good to trust your kind and open up. Birds of a feather should stick together. What is he talking about? Is it the drink? Or does he know anything about the events in Romania? I felt uneasy and wanted to cut the conversation short as soon as I could. You know, it's very interesting, but so confusing. A lot of dangerous ideas. This sounds like I'm being gentle with it, though. So I'm going to avoid this one. Confusing. Let's take a stance. Maybe that's more bold. Or is this about bravery? And what's the name? I don't know. It could just be a choice. Yes. Elitism and certain groups being the chosen ones, it never ended well. It's late. I think I should get some rest. Thank you for the conversation. Yeah. I got up, but so did Ruthven, lurching slightly. There was vexation in his expression. Do you think I'm not worthy of your attention? Yeah, that's exactly what I think. Don't be so haughty, Miss Melody. Me? Sometimes worthy associates can be found among those who don't look at the part at first glance. Take a closer look. Let me pass, please. But out of the blue, he grabbed my wrist and stared at me with murky eyes. I yanked my wrist out and pushed him away. He took a step back, but immediately grabbed my shoulders. Share your secrets with me, Melody Burnell. No. Tell me what you've done to the old man SOULMATE. Who? Was that the guy from the museum? Or no? Because I can't think of anybody else. SOULMATE? Who? To whom? Mr. Ruthven, stop it. Ted ran to the salon and cut between us. Get away, Ted. I want her to tell me. But the steward got a hold on him and nodded at the door to me. I rushed to the guest room and locked the door from inside. Who? For a while I could hear voices and ruckus in the salon, then everything went quiet. I was laying down, thinking about everything that had happened, and fell asleep eventually. I woke up from a knock at the door and Ted's voice behind it. I opened the door, still wary. Good morning. Evening, miss. We've arrived. Are we in Latsville already? Yes, you're home. The steward hesitated. Please excuse us for the night's incident. The boss had too much to drink. Actually, he's very peaceful. He wouldn't have hurt you. Tell that to a person who doesn't grab me? Talk about peaceful? He's a drunk idiot. Like, that's not peaceful. And once again, you're already a liar, so anything you say is moot anyway. I see, Ted, but you're not the one who owes me an apology. Actually, you are. Huh? Have we arrived? Hooray, we're home. Shut the fuck up. Let me stop. The moment I stepped onto the gangway and saw the lights of my home city, I breathed a sigh of relief. There were cars and some people down on the ground. One of the figures ran to us. Mom? So she is okay. Now, why the fuck did she leave that message like that? My girls, you're home. You know what? You sketchy too. How'd you know we'd be here? Did you get in the car because he asked you to? Did you set me up for money? I don't trust nobody. Where did you come from? Mom gave us a bear hug and talked with joyful excitement. Mr. Ruthven gave me a call and told me you'd be arriving with him. And he even sent a car for me so that I could meet you here. I really wonder why he would do that. Mom, but what happened? Why did you call us? She fussed around in our suitcases. Oh, I told you it was nothing. Everything's fine. Your face doesn't look like it's fine. Mom? I stood in front of her and caught her gaze. She got embarrassed. For real, it was all in my head. I've been too worried lately. Millie shook her head dispiritedly. Oh, so we cut our vacation short and rushed to another continent just because you were too anxious over nothing? Alright, Mom. Mom is here. So we're going to our place? I can't tell if she was trying to be rude or not. Yeah, sure. Someone approached us and I was surprised upon realizing it was Mackenzie, the Lastville mayor. Good evening, ladies. Welcome home. What the fuck? Miss Melody, we're glad you've arrived. Just in time for the city council. The what? City council? Me? Yes, we need you to be present. We need you to leave immediately from here if you want to make it to the start. But first, just a change. You see, there's a dress code. No, but first, why the fuck do I have to go? Actually, I don't. Until you explain what the fuck you want me there for. It's like, my fiance to the Liberty with siblings several outfits for you. The mayor waved his hand and a girl who looked like a model ran to us, clicking her high heels. It's Ursi. Ursi is the Burnell family. She beamed at me and offered me several bags. I hope you like them. Feel free to change in the plane. We ask that no one disturb you. Hold on. Why does City Council need me and so urgently? Thank you. Finally started answering the right questions. It's official. I can't tell you for now. Bitch, you are not the police. Whoa, what? No. If it's official, then I definitely don't have any reason to be there. That doesn't answer the question. See, it's this kind of shit. That don't make sense. Like, I get you're trying to tell a story, but this is not organic. Like, this shit doesn't make sense at all. It's like you're trying to push us from one plot point to the next, but the in-between doesn't make sense. Us getting on that plane doesn't make sense. This meeting here doesn't make sense. Like, you're trying to move the plot from one place to the next, and so you did it in the most ridiculous way. If you were gonna do like a somewhat abduction story, like, why make the main character look stupid? Why not just actually have her be abducted and wake up here in the back of a car as they're driving to the meeting? And she could have had that whole deal with Ruth Van Lin. I guess because you wanted time for her to paint in between times, so you could shoehorn in the past as well. But like, she could have done that past. Okay, here's what she should have done: had her paint at, like, I don't know, Sandra's house or something. She still could have ran away from VLAD if you want to do that, but no, that's stupid too. Like, had her paint, do the whole past scene, then have her abducted while she was sleeping, and then wake up here, have that conversation with Ruth Van. Still could have been really creepy. And this guy. I was confused. The last thing I wanted at the moment was to go to some city government event, and yet you're gonna go. Sweetie, you can't turn it down if it's so important. You know what? You shut up, because you're a liar. Go with Mr. Mayor. Millie and I will go home for now. I nodded, utterly confused. Oh, okay. She's like a fucking sheep. I took the bags from her seat and went to change. But first I'll call Leo and tell him we're fine. I dialed his number, but the automated voice told me it was out of range. Okay, fine. Then Sandra. So you couldn't leave a message? It was the same with her. I sighed and started dressing with a heavy heart. What do you mean, out of range? I sighed and started dressing with a heavy heart. I'm done. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Stop being an asshole. Okay. Long with middle part. Fair ponytail. A dark ponytail. Braided bangs. What the hell? I'll just wear that, I guess. Oh, more things. Okay. That. It's fine. I guess I'm ready. Time to go. Yeah, I guess. When I came back, I found a man in police uniform next to Mom and Millie. Commissioner Dugan? It was my parents' old friend. He would visit us frequently when I was a little girl. Melody, you're all grown up. Your daughters are beautiful, Annie. Thank you, John. If you had visited us more frequently, you wouldn't be so surprised now. You know how this line of duty is. All work and no play. Still doesn't make sense. Melody, you can come to the council with me, and I'll take you home afterwards. Oh, thank you. I'll feel much calmer with you. Mom and Millie headed home. We saw them off and walked to his car. Get in. The castle is 40 minutes away. I thought I misheard him. Castle? The castle? Didn't they tell you? No! It's a semi-annual council. They're conducted not at the city hall, but at various flashy places. This one will be held at the Black Castle. The Black Castle? The one at the western edge of the city? That's the one. Have you been there? It felt as if the commissioner was embarrassed by something. Millie and I were going to go take a look, but we never did. But how could the council be held at the Black Castle? It's been closed for many years. You can only see him from the outside. It was, but now it's open. I'll tell you when we get there. I had enough of this telling me when we get there bullshit. Great. We left one castle and came to another one. Here it is, the Black Castle. Impressive, huh? I mean, it's nice architecture, but look at the spiralettes of the dark Gothic building with surprise. Lastville's an old city. There are many historical buildings here, but this one doesn't look like the others. European, 19th century. That's right. It was built at the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries by a Hungarian immigrant, some Baron Sotet. My heart skipped a beat. Sotet? Yes, he was homesick, so he built this castle. Then his descendants lived here. They were all pretty strange, very secluded, kept to themselves. So I don't even know who the last owner was. Sotet's grandson and great-grandson. Why was the castle closed? The policeman hesitated, looking at me with doubt. The last descendant died 20 years ago. They didn't find any last will or relatives. According to Lastville law, no one has the right to do anything with the property for exactly 20 years. What? In case any heirs show up. If they don't, the building belongs to the city legally. Then time has run out? Almost. Why do I feel like I'm a descendant? But how am I a descendant of someone Hungarian, though? Well, he says almost. Wait, well, you said almost. So what the fuck are y'all doing here then? You said never allowed to do anything with it. And why do I need to be present? To hand over my legacy? A procession of cars drove to the castle. The mayor was in one of them. He waved at us as he walked by. Oh, Miss Burnell, Commissioner. You're here already. Wonderful. See you inside. Yeah, seriously though, but who opened it if you're not supposed to be here? See, he nodded and headed inside. The commissioner muttered, well, at least he didn't bring his doll over here. Okay, and we also have beef inside the council, as if this is necessary. His doll? That girlfriend. Young, pretty ladies are the last thing he should be thinking about now with all his problems. Alright, let's go. Before going in, I tried to call Sandra and Leo again, but their phones were still off the grid. Well, that's weird. Is it the magic of the place that they're in? Could be. Or somebody else's magic, once again blocking me. As I walked the stone floor of the hallway, I couldn't shake off the thoughts of another castle. Even though they were different, the atmosphere inside seemed similar. It doesn't even look like it was closed for so many years. It doesn't look abandoned. Oh, it is now, and only in this part. The castle has been opened a month ago, and they've been primping it up actively. But the other parts have some serious damage, requiring long and difficult restoration. So nice the city is taking care of buildings like this. Yeah, the city. The young man carrying a pile of books appeared in the neighboring hallway. Oh, Mr. Wright, hello. He stopped, fixed his glasses, recognized the commissioner, and smiled. Good evening, Mr. Dugan. He glanced at me and suddenly went very pale. His hands shook and several books from the pile fell to the floor. Are you alright, Justin? Yeah, I'm sorry. He tried to bend, but only dropped several more books. I'll help. I gathered the books, dusted them off, and put them onto his pile. All this time, the man was staring at me with some absolutely dumbfounded gaze. This is Miss Melody Barnell. Meet Yeston Wright. I smiled welcomingly. Nice to meet you. What an unusual name you have. Almost like Justin, but Yeston. Mr. Wright has Hungarian roots. They pronounce it like that, right? Well, aren't you the heir, then? Yeston didn't answer. He was still staring at my face. Yeston is why are you continuing as if his behavior is normal? Are you okay? Yeston is stored in the owner's documents. There are a lot of manuscripts in Hungarian. I think SOULMATE was a scientist. There'll be enough work for the next 20 years. Alright, let's get going, Melody. I think you'll see Yeston around. We walked down the hallway. The commissioner smirked. Poor boy. He's so lost in his books he loses his speech when he sees a pretty woman. I don't think that was the whole of it. I really don't. There was a lot of people in the big room already. Everyone was wearing evening attire. Everyone except the police officer. Some were standing by the tables. The others were mingling around the room. It's about to start. I'll leave you for now. Have fun. The commissioner left and I took to people watching. Apparently after the vacation, I felt a bit strange surrounded by homelanders. Suddenly, someone called me by my name from behind. Miss Melody. Oh, God. As I saw Ruthven, got an unpleasant feeling in my chest. What's he doing here? Is this part of his important business? The man looked absolutely repentant. Please forgive me, Miss Melody, for everything. You're not forgiven. I was very rude towards you. I hope you're not mad at me anymore. I'm not mad. I'm just annoyed. The jury is still not. I'm not forgetting anything. No, seriously, the jury's still out. He shrugged nervously. Well, I hope several unpleasant misunderstandings won't overshadow good impressions for you. Good impressions? I mean, you're home, safe and sound, and your mom greeted you. So, is that you trying to make a good impression? Speaking of that, why did you bring her to the airport? I wanted to please you. It's such a nice feeling when your family greets you on their arrival. You trying to get me into a certain mindset. And I'm not here for it, buddy. Oh, well, I said everything I needed to. I won't bother you anymore. He turned and walked away. The official ceremonies began. The mayor started his speech directed to the board. He was speaking about the results of the half year, the plans, but then he talked about a theme that made me listen closely. We went to settle on the fate of the castle that welcomed us tonight. You know that for the past 20 years, this unique landmark didn't belong to anyone. It was falling into decay slowly, and there was nothing we could do. But a month ago, a certain company declared it was ready to restore the building and put good funding into it to turn it into a museum. Commissioner Dugan appeared by my shoulder and mumbled quietly. Sure, a couple of rooms for the museum, and the rest will be turned into a luxurious hotel. Oh, I see. Several weeks were left until the official lapse of the 20-year term, but we had to take into account some financial hardships of the city budget. Wow. So you didn't do what you were supposed to do because you fucked up the finances of the city? And now you pushed everybody into this. So that's what the police officer was talking about. You know what? I'm starting to like this police officer. Hold on. And the fact that City Hall would be unable to allocate such funds. So we couldn't let such a lucrative offer go. Oh, you could have if you done what you made a choice. Don't make it sound like you had no choice in this matter. You had a lot of choices and you probably fucked up all of them. As an exception, we allowed the Ruthven Foundation to start the restoration. Ruthven? The well-known benefactor, Mr. Ruthven, put his trust in us and started the restoration even before the contract was drawn. We simply couldn't draw it before the time went out, though we were sure it would go smoothly. If the heirs didn't come up for the 20 years and 11 months, the chance they would come at all is minuscule. However, last week, the Chief Commissioner Dugan received an anonymous letter. Please, Mr. Dugan, you have the floor. The Commissioner approached the mayor carrying some papers. Yes, a letter containing the last will of the last owner of this castle, Mr. SOULMATE. The authenticity of the document was confirmed. We also found the lawyer who legalized it. Yes, the owner left the castle to the city under the condition there will be a public museum in here, which you just shoved into a few rooms. See? This is what we planned, but there's a small nuance. One of the buildings at the castle territory, namely a small chapel in the inner court, was left to a specific person. A chapel? It's now the property of Miss Burnell. Miss Burnell, please come here. The mayor pointed at me and everyone turned to me. To me? Some person who died 20 years and whom I've never met had left the chapel to me? Perplexed, I made my way towards the mayor and he continued. According to Lasville law, if there are several buildings belonging to different owners at the same land, it's prohibited to carry out repairs of one building without the other owner's permission. Finally, I made it to the speakers and accepted the will from Dugan's hand, still not having a clue what was going on. What does this mean? Miss Melody, it means the fate of this castle depends on you now. If you give permission, the Ruthven Foundation will continue the restoration. So that's what he wanted. Everything will be back to its former glory. It will be bustling with life. We'll open a beautiful museum. And a hotel. I like this guy. The mayor coughed. Yeah, but if you're against it, we will all be in a very unpleasant, precarious situation. Fuck you, asshole. And then you dragged me in front of all these people to do this? Really? So it makes me look like the bad guy if I refuse. Even when you sitting here with your stupid ass face. You know what? This dude just has a punchable fucking face. He looks like a fucking pansy. Get the fuck out of here. You kidding me? This is just dumb. Like, this is what we're doing with that time? This is why we left Romania. To deal with this bullshit. Here it is. That's why Ruthven wanted me here. And this asshole. Don't forget that. But you're not expecting the answer right now? The mayor took me aside and spoke more quietly. Oh, now you're gonna take me aside? You could have told me this shit before I even came here. But no, you wanted to do this in public. So you forced me to come here tonight. Even though, she didn't even have to come. And her mom was in on it. I don't trust that bitch either. I beg you to make the decision as soon as possible. With each day of the idle time, the fund loses a lot of money. You should also know that Ruthven Foundation has announced several generous beneficial projects for Lasville. We're really counting on them. I thought about it. Ruthven approached us. The chapel you acquire, there are some frescoes and stained glass windows that have fallen into decay. I'm afraid neither you nor the city have the money to restore it. But if you agree, you'll repair with the whole complex at my expense. No. I don't want you to touch the chapel until I go through it and figure out why he left it to me. He gave me a sugary smile. He has the right idea. The commissioners remained silent, but his eyes were clearly telling me I shouldn't hurry with the decision. So what do you say? We're really hoping for a positive answer. Fuck off. You're not getting it. My stinking confer about it will study other foundations' offers. You know what? Fuck these assholes. Ooh. Life has already taught me not to hurry when signing papers. Why the Ruthven Foundation? What's so unique about this offer? Maybe the other foundations will have better conditions? I want to find out. Until then, excuse me, but you'll have to wait. Veins popped up at Ruthven's neck. His smile became almost threatening. Almost? I can change my mind too. You won't find an offer like this. My decision will remain the same anyway. I need to see if I can trust you, Mr. Ruthven. So far, it's not clear. Ruthven turned to the mayor angrily. If she says no, my fund won't give you a penny. No support for the schools or the social centers. The city will lose huge donations. And I'll demand reimbursement for the renovations we've already completed. You'll be in crushing debt. He stared at me furiously and left the room. Miss Burnett, fuck off. Leave her be, Mackenzie. Are you trying to hang your misfortunes on her? The commissioner turned to me. Dear, wait for me outside. I have a couple of words to say to the mayor and then I'll take you home. Thank you. But I kind of want to wait with you because I don't trust these people. So... decided to bring the little one in here with me so I can finish this. Then I'll take you home. Okay. You okay, Mama? just hanging out. I nodded and left them, heading outside to avoid stares at me. The hallway was empty and quiet. I walked along the walls slowly. Ruthven showed his true colors back on his plane, and now everything became confirmed. I did the right thing by saying no. But if he strips the city of his support, it'll be bad. Yeah, but see, that's not on you, sweetheart. Suddenly I heard barely discernible cries at the end of one of the neighboring hallways. It was the quiet, pleading, even begging voice of a girl. Oh, who might that be? I looked into the hallway with caution, but stopped after taking several steps. It was fading into the dark, and I couldn't see where it ended. I won't go. Enough danger for me. But I can't leave her alone. Maybe she needs help. I'll call the commissioner. I was about to turn back, happy with the decision I made, but someone threw a dark cloth over my head and knocked me down. Oh no. This sounds like it's going to be a time choice. Oh no, I need to pay attention. You okay, Mama? I couldn't scream. A strong palm covered my mouth. Oh no, no. There were two attackers. The one who covered my mouth grabbed my shoulders, and the other picked up my legs. Okay. I'm trying to get an idea of where they are so I can figure out what to do. If there's anything to be done. Covered my mouth, grabbed my shoulders, okay? I was thrashing, trying to break myself free, but they were already dragging me away. Darkness, shaking, and the overwhelming feeling of panic. No, no. The doctors kept changing directions. There were creaky doors in our way and staircases leading down. Finally, it looked like we arrived. The girls' cries and moans were loud and clear now. Some are very close. Even though I was terrified for myself, I was much more terrified for her as I listened to her crying in pain. My feet were finally on the floor. The cloth was yanked from my head. Hello? Oh. It was a huge dark chamber with stone walls and no windows. It was lit up by torches and the floor was covered in strange symbols. There was something like a sacrificial post in the middle with a girl tied to it. She was all white and pale, her clothes, hair, and the face full of suffering. Whoa. Hold on. See if I can do this one-handed. Oh, okay. Nailed it. And, got a screenshot and go back. Yes. She hung on the ropes powerlessly. Next to her, there was a figure in a long black cloak. I could only see his bony hands. Oh, are we finally getting the black cloak guy from the first episode? Is that him? I have to go back and look. I can't remember anymore. Mama. The figure was resting upon a long staff, reaching to the girl's chest with one hand. Oh no. Incredibly bright, shining light was leaving the girl, being sucked into the hideous wizened hand. Is it like soul light? The hooded figure threw his head back, slightly twitching with his whole body. It seemed like the pale girl was losing her strength by the second. Oh no. It's like it's sucking the life out of her. I peeked to the sides. Two abductors were still holding me. The one on the left held me with two hands. The one on the right held me with one. They were also hidden by black cloaks and stood at rigid attention, waiting for the figure to complete this horrible action and turn its attention to us. I realized the victim wasn't even breathing anymore. Oh my goodness. Looks like these two are fascinated by the process. Time to act. What to do? Push to the one on the right. I threw my body to the side, pushing the abductor on the right. He staggered, grunting something, and the only hand that was holding me grew weaker. I broke loose, leaned to the other side, and hit the other man somewhere in his hood. He moaned and raised his hands to his face instinctively, letting me go. It worked. You managed to break free. I rushed to the chamber center, grabbing the staff the black figure was resting upon and hitting it. Ugh. The figure crashed to the floor, groaning. The ray of light out of the girl's chest subsided. The companions rushed to help the figure stand up, and I ran to the girl. I tried to untie her, but the knots were too tight, and there was nothing to cut them with. Oh no. The next moment, I felt a firm grasp on my shoulders. The two abductors grabbed me again, throwing me to the feet of the black figure. Help! Someone! The figure in black froze, seemingly taking a closer look on me. A cracked, elderly whisper that could barely belong to a human came from under the hood. It made my skin crawl with terror. Yes. Well, let's see. A bony hand stretched out from the cloak and touched my chest. No, help, someone! But the scary hand recoiled at once. Oh, maybe she didn't have SOULMATE. Huh? There was anger and puzzlement in that voice. Yes, baby? Bam! The door flew open. Another figure appeared in the room. Commissioner? It got to us in one leap, and I recognized Justin, carrying a knife in one hand and a small sword in the other. Justin. I knew it was not more than just being a pretty face. He kind of cute, though. I'm not gonna lie. Let's get a picture of this guy. He just became important. The doctors rushed at him, and I managed to crawl aside. Melody, cut the ropes. Justin threw the knife to my feet. I grabbed it, ran to the girl, and started sawing the ropes. There was clearly a vigorous fight behind my back, but I couldn't turn around and see what was happening. Finally, the ropes gave in, and I shook the girl, trying to wake her up. The sound of falling and some ruckus came from behind. I turned around and saw Justin lying on the floor, unconscious. Poor thing. There were bloodstains on the floor next to him. Oh no! Please tell me he's not dead. 3 black figures were in the farther end of the room already, rushing into a dark passage in the wall. They were retreating. The moment they were inside, the wall shifted, hiding the passage. I heard the sound of hurried footsteps in the hallway. Several people were running, panting. I turned there. The pale girl was gone from the chamber. The next second... Are you kidding me? Now it looks like I set this shit up. Sorry, baby. I need to stop cursing, I really do. They're here. Melody? Oh, Sandra. Okay, these are the people I need to see. Are you alright? We made it in time. We made it in time. Oh, they ran from VLAD. That's why they ran. Oh, aha. That's who they were running from. Okay, I got you. I got you. Oh, also Sandra's magic. She's learning magic now. Our rating on this one, though. You know what? For once, the scenes in the past, not so much with the Pasha guy, but with VLAD, were really nice. So that's saving this episode a lot. But other than that, the craziness going on here was kind of ridiculous. I do like that I got to say some stuff that made some sense, though. I got to have some voice choices that made sense. I prefer the bravery choice options other than the luck ones. Because somebody mentioned that they were better. They give her a little bit more personality, a little more oomph. So I do like that. But for now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give this a 3. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. But VLAD is here. This is always nice. And the rest of our friend does as well. She is just snorting away. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot that doesn't make sense, guys. I don't know. Oh, but guys, let me know, about that whole scene where we saw our mom in the past. Like, let me know which one. Okay, so it says Huma is Mehmed's mother, but I thought that the other woman was his mom. Clearly, I misunderstood some stuff, so help me out on that because I don't know. How did you guys feel about how they got here, point A from point B? I thought it was a little silly. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was silly. But at least we're back together with our friends. We didn't have to wait long for that. That makes me happy. But what the heck is going on here? And I hope Justin isn't dead. I hope we could learn some things from him. I like the commissioner. The mayor can go suck it though. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this part right here. So I can go take care of this little one. And I'll see you next time. Wait, I forgot my ending. Go ahead. you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and share, like button, some love, subscribe to see more content like this. We'll probably play, what do I want to play next? I'll probably play Legend of the Willow next. Yeah, probably do that next. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.